Another thing that you talk about, and I've heard you use the phrase often, is that this time and space is a stable platform for creation. I'd like to get some clarity on that, because if you're outside the vortex and you look around this world, you could say, where exactly are you looking? The wars, the economy? What part of that seems stable? So I'd like to know.
By stable, what we mean is, you know how when you dream, Esther loves to dream, and when she dreams, she dreams different times, she dreams different spaces, she dreams people she doesn't know. In other words, she creates a dream that by her wake standards is not stable. She loves it when she flies to Australia or flies to Hawaii or flies to London, that when she wakes up in her bed, she has that stable continuity of how she got there. And by the stable environment, what we mean is you all, with your ability to decipher vibration, you interpret vibration, that's why you see. And you do it in mass. In other words, you have come to rather clear agreements of the way you translate vibration into visual, into sound, into taste and smell and touch. And so you have this somewhat stable environment, a consensus of how things are. In fact, some of the greatest, most contested debates that you have as humans on the planet are when this stable environment of contrast, as you describe, with wars and plagues and whatever's going on, as it causes you to ask for something, and then you're wise enough to follow the way you feel until you get inside the vortex, you have clear view of solutions that the majority of people outside the vortex do not have. And so that might be one of the reasons that you would claim some instability, because everybody doesn't get inside the vortex and see the same thing. But still, it is an incredibly stable environment. We want you to embrace and applaud the diversity, even the parts of it that you do not want, because without your ability to discern what you don't want, you could not become clear about what you do want. And life is getting better and better and better and better for more and more and more and more. And it always will. There is no slipping back. There never will be. There is no slipping back, because you see the balance of it. People worry. We hear your beeper. People worry that as there are things like economic slides or things like pollution that they worry about, or things that they focus upon as large numbers of people. Sometimes people in an environment like this worry that too many people will focus negatively and that it will have a negative impact. And we want you to know that the balance is such that if everyone on the planet were to simultaneously focus upon unwanted things, let's say that you have someone who really makes an incredibly popular documentary, and they could manage to get it displayed in all of the theaters and all of the homes and all of the iPods and all of the downloads of the world, so that in a period of 2 or 3 days or weeks, everyone saw it. And so everyone focused simultaneously upon this unwanted situation. The very worst thing that would happen, well, you'd all be depressed, but the very worst thing that would happen is that while you're being depressed, you would be sending off rockets of desire, and your vibrational reality would escalate in huge proportion. Now, the next wonderful thing that happens, and depending upon where you look at it, and from where we look at it, it is a wonderful thing. Eventually, and in really a very short period of time, that entire population that witnessed that is going to croak. In other words, they're going to reemerge and match what's in the vibrational escrow. And it is from that vantage point that they will reemerge back into the physical. So the dilution process of releasing the one worried and embracing the forward-looking, that's stability. That's stability beyond our ability to even express it, you see. That's why it is our promise to you that you do not need to worry about it. But there's no point in hanging around out here outside the vortex where you only have access to unwanted things and holding yourself in that miserable place until you have your death experience. We don't come here and visit with you because you need to hear this from us in order to effectively sift through contrast and do an effective job of step one. That's going to happen whether you ever hear these words or not. We don't need to visit with you in order for this vibrational reality to be created, it's being created whether you're consciously aware of it or not. You don't need to know the source energy is embracing this. You don't need to know that law of attraction is responding to this, and that the future experiences are as a result of this vortex of cooperation that is being amassed. You don't have to know that. You don't have to know. You don't even have to do step 3, because when you have your death experience, you'll do step 3. In other words, everything will work out just fine whether you know it or not. So why are we having these conversations with you? First, because you've asked, and second, because life is supposed to feel good to you. You're supposed to be here not as sacrificial lambs that are exploring and expanding for future generations. Future generations will benefit dramatically as a result of what you all are living. But you should be dramatically benefiting too. And that's why we have these conversations. Life's better in the vortex, and it's only a little bit of attitude adjustment away, an understanding of vibration and an attitude adjustment away. So, good time for a segment of refreshment.